All right, let's talk about a tool that might just completely change how you kick off your Flutter projects. I mean, imagine forgetting about all that repetitive setup. That's what we're digging into today. This is our explainer on FlutterSeed, the visual scaffolding engine.
Okay, let's be real for a second. If you're a Flutter dev, this question probably hits a little too close to home. Just think about it. That initial setup, all those tasks you do over and over again. How many hours are you really losing on day one of a brand new project?
And this right here is what we call the boilerplate trap. You know the drill. Manually creating all your folder structures, wiring up RiverPod for what feels like the 100th time, getting GoRouter to behave, and then squashing all those initial linting errors. It's the same old frustrating dance every single time.
But here's the thing. It's not just about your time being wasted. When every developer on a team starts a project just a little bit differently, you get this thing the source calls setup drift. And that inconsistency, it makes projects a total nightmare to maintain and slows everybody down right from the get-go.
And this table just lays out the solution so perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the old way. Slow, inconsistent, different every time. And on the right, the FlutterSeed workflow. Totally consistent, repeatable, and fast. We're not just talking a little faster. We are talking about shifting from days of setup to just a few minutes.
So what is FlutterSeed, really? The source calls it a visual scaffolding engine, and that phrase is everything. See, this isn't just another boilerplate template you download. It's a tool that lets you visually design your project's foundation, and then it generates all the clean, perfect code for you based on that design.
Okay, that sounds great, right? But how does it actually work? I mean, how do you get from some visual canvas to a real, runnable Flutter project that you can just pop open in your IDE? Well, the process is actually brilliantly simple. First, you just pick some nodes on a visual graph to build your stack. Choose your architecture, your state management, your backend, all of it. Then, FlutterSeed maps that visual graph into a config file, uses a templating engine to generate perfect art code, and boom, you just download the zip file with your complete project. And the key thing to remember here is that the code you get isn't some flimsy demo. No, this is production-grade stuff. It follows clean architecture principles. It passes all the lints right out of the box. And it even comes with pre-built screens like a 404 page and a whole library of helper widgets. You can start building your features right away, not fixing the setup.
Now this goes way beyond just saving time for one developer. This is about transforming how entire teams work by getting rid of that awful spaghetti code before a single line of it can even be written.
I love this quote from the source material. It just nails it. I mean, think about it. How do you really enforce architectural standards across a team? Endless documentation? Tedious pull requests? This tool just automates it by making the standard the only possible starting point.
This slide lays out the whole battle perfectly. On one side, you have inconsistent patterns that lead to that classic spaghetti code. The tangled mess that's impossible to follow and makes fixing bugs a nightmare. But on the other side, standardized presets enforce a clean architecture from the start and guarantee everyone is on the exact same page. This is how you stop that setup drift for good.
So who does this really help? Well, pretty much everybody. Indie devs can launch their MVPs way faster. Startups can build on a solid, standard foundation. Agencies can spin up consistent projects for all their clients, and even huge enterprise teams can enforce their own specific architectural rules. So with this kind of workflow, how much of that tedious boilerplate code do you actually have to write yourself to get started? The answer is zero. Absolutely none. Your focus shifts completely from setup to actually building features that matter.
All right, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm sold. How do I get started? Well, FlutterSeed gives you a couple of different paths to get your next project up and running in just a few minutes.
If you don't feel like starting from a completely blank slate, you can just grab one of their battle-tested templates. Maybe you need an e-commerce starter, or an offline first app using Hive, or even a full-stack project with Supabase. There's a preset ready to go.
What's really cool is that it caters to how you like to work. If you're a visual planner, there's the drag-and-drop interface. But if you live inside your terminal, no problem. You can use the interactive CLI. Just run FlutterSeed init, answer a few questions, and your project is good to go.
And that brings us to the final and really the most important question. It's what this is all about. Shifting your precious time away from repetitive setup and toward the creative work of actually building something amazing. So, are you ready to stop setting up projects and finally start building them?